Assembly Member Twycross.
Thank you, Chair. Are you disappointed, Mr Mayor, with the Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs announcement that it will not be pursuing a national diesel scrappage scheme?
I am. And what is sort of salt in the wound is that there's been an announcement of a new clean air fund of £220 million. And by the way, London taxpayers are contributing towards this. We know that 40% of the most polluting roads in the country are in London. We know the figures in relation to premature deaths and the issues around poor quality air. Yet we aren't allowed to bid for this clean air fund money. The government accepts that that money can be used elsewhere in the country for targeted local scrappage schemes, but not in London. That seems to be unfair. Another example of the government's anti-London bias.
Thank you. And Mr Mayor, the government has said that a scrappage scheme doesn't offer value for money and is not deliverable and could be open to abuse. Could you explain how your proposal for a National Vehicle Scrappage Fund that was published in February last year would have addressed those concerns?
Well, the Chancellor had legitimate concerns about a scrappage scheme that would be seen as, in inverted commas, a windfall for some people. So if you're changing your vehicle anyway, you've got this subsidy from the taxpayer, and the government was concerned we were given a reward for somebody who's going to change their vehicle anyway. So TfL went away and devised a scheme that would be targeted towards low-income families, targeted towards small businesses who are struggling, targeted towards charities. A costed scheme, so it's a targeted scrappage scheme, which we took back to the government, who so far haven't been persuaded about the need for it. The government's response is, at the moment, is manufacturers already are giving discounts. So manufacturers, if you buy a new diesel vehicle, if you buy a new vehicle, will give you a discount for the old diesel. That doesn't help the poorest families, and so we need to persuade the government that the scheme we've put forward of a targeted scrappage scheme will help the poorest families. And if people are genuinely concerned, as they claim to be, for poorer families across London, you'd expect them to be lobbying publicly and privately for a targeted national diesel scrappage scheme that includes London. I've seen no evidence of that.
Thank you. And other than a financial incentive, how else can you and will you encourage people to switch to more sustainable modes of transport?
One thing that's been remarkable over the last couple of years is the number of parents who approach me because their children have lobbied them. It's quite remarkable, this bottom-up power coming from children to parents, or to uncles and aunties, saying, you know, what about the air, the walk to school? I remember Nikki and I discussed the walking to school actually 2-3 years ago. We were encouraging children to walk to school, but they're walking down roads that are probably more polluting than actually being driven to school. And so that's good. This pressure from Londoners is really important. So and that provides an incentive to mum, dad, carer not to buy a vehicle that is polluting. We've also made available on the website a vehicle checker. One of the problems in this area is people don't trust, you know, because of Dieselgate and other reasons, what manufacturers are saying. So we've provided this checker, so before you're purchasing a vehicle, you can check how compliant your vehicle is. It's on real conditions rather than factory conditions. Bless you.
Bless you.
Rather than factory conditions. But there's more we can do in relation to persuading people to move from the car to other modes of transport. Freezing TfL fares for 4 years. You and I have discussed at Mayor's Question Time the cost of living in London. By freezing the fares, we make it easier for people to move to TfL buses, trams, London Overground as well, but also and the tube, but also the unlimited hopper fare means that you can change buses more than once, 2, 3, 4 times within an hour, and only pay the additional fare. And the final part of the equation is obviously the work Will Norman's doing with Val to have it easier and safer to cycle across London, but also it can't be pedestrians versus cyclists. That's why Will is a walking and cycling commissioner, because we've got to think about how we design streets so people don't feel cyclists are ganging up on pedestrians or vice versa. It's really important we respect both.
Thank you.